We're going to do the Scout 5 for the present manhunt. So our first objective, saying flashpoints are spraying up all over the city, so it doesn't look like this is going to be contained to one area, to one neighborhood. So hostile forces are running rampant throughout the city. Disrupt their activities wherever you can find them. Okay, that may mean just hit anyone, anywhere. That could mean hit supply convoys. We'll just see how it's going to score. 0 of 3. So, yeah. It says whatever activities wherever you find them. So let's start with doing a. I guess we'll start with this territory control. See if that will do the job.
Might be able to see him from over there.
The last scout was actually in, not last, most recent for everybody else, but the last one I was working on anyway. 4 or whatever was in Constitution Hall.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
Firing. Moving up. Get them.
I'm not a big fan of this weapon. Not because of the, I mean, it's a prototype, so it hits, harder than what I can afford to upgrade right now. But, where are they? Oh, there they are. I thought that cut around.
They're trying to get the flag.
Access key detected.
And there's also a specialty crate around the corner here. It's good to memorize where all these crates are. They'll be useful later, especially when you've got a build that is, going to be giving you status effect enhancements and whatnot. So it looks like that did the job. So we just need to find 2 more random activities, hit them, and we should be good on our first task for Scout 5. A little bit of loot here and there. I believe there's a crate in here. Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of... I may be thinking of a different area. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of over here. Am I? Nope. We got ammo though. Alright, let's get back on task. Okay, we can handle that. Yeah, we got another one right next to it. We'll just fast travel there. Yeah, I kind of lost focus on the scouts. And kind of got focused on retaliations. I go through different phases, Just depends what I'm feeling. Depends what's happening with global events.
Don't fall for their lies. You're smarter than that. The true sons are fighting to save this country and serve their
Usually the enemy spawns from over there somewhere. Oh, this time it was that door, it looks like.
Civilians in danger.
Shit! Armor's almost gone!
Access key detected.
You like that,
Progress halted. Manual override required.
The True Sons are coming for you. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. Either way, it's time to make a decision.
Progress resumed. Civilians in distress. Manual override required.
Okay.
Okay. So I know it's weird. True Sons used to be JTF. Then some True Sons joined the
Tell me. Okay, good. It did register. I was a little worried there for a moment. I'm going to save these folks here. What do we got? I thought I saw a little orange glow there. Nighttime is the best time to look for loot in this game because everything has like an orange glow when you get within a certain distance of it. So all you have to do is wait until nighttime and get out there and start searching, and you're gonna find a lot more gear and whatnot. I think I already have a core strength armor mask. Let's see, I've got plenty of. I'm trying to have a nice, well-rounded core strength selection. So I've got a selection from my other character, and then I created a new character that I've been mentioning, and I want to be sure that they have access as well. Core strength is just phenomenal. That's my feeling anyway. I mean, I have other builds. Obviously I use a lot of other builds.
Incoming backup request.
But yeah, so far since I got started using it, it's just been fantastic. Basically allowing you to retain a lot of armor with a damage build. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. So. And of course, yeah, you can build armor like the Bob the Builder build that I have is one, for example, that isn't using anything core strength, but it racks up a crazy amount of armor and damage, since Heartbreaker gives you both as long as you're using both the backpack and the vest. But, this is a little more dependable. Number one rule, don't ever let anyone get around the side or behind you. If you keep enemies in front of you in this game, you've got the advantage. There's not a lot they can do then except dig in and try to hit you with grenades and stuff. And of course, to do that, they have to expose themselves from cover. So all you really need is a rifle. Ideally a marksman rifle or just a regular rifle. Assault rifles are alright, but not compared to a UIC-15 Mod 2 or Classic M1A or whatever.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
And then displace anytime they get around the flank like that.
Serious trauma detected.
And this is over 2 million armor. But again, we are playing on heroic, so they're going to hit really hard. And yeah, your builds are not going to do the kind of damage that you're used to playing in the Dark Zone, because that's set to that challenging. You definitely feel that you're doing a lot more damage in challenging. You know, they're not, the enemies aren't so robust. When you get into escalation, then it's basically like everything's souped up even more on top of that. Not only is there an armor enhancement, but they have all these little freaking abilities that make you have to kind of reapproach your entire, you know, tactical mindset from a clean slate and just kind of, you know, analyze the each of the aspects of the new aspects. I think is the best way, because if you don't really read into, that's like probably the best advice for this game for any new players out there, is read the details of everything. All right, I understand, like with certain games, like I was playing Death Stranding the other day, and it's got so much crap to read that it gets annoying and you just skip through a lot of it. And I know some people are really into that game and they want to read every little thing, and like the first time you play through The Last of Us or The Last of Us 2, you're going and you're reading every note and detail and all this and that, and then once you play the game like 20 times, you're just flying through it and boom, 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 boom. And I kind of approach games that I am not really that sure about whether I want to commit much time to. For example, Death Stranding, by just skipping over most of the reading in the game, because I mean, it's just
in danger.
so. And of course, all these what's it called, that crazy ass Japanese dude who does all the you know, Metal Gear games and stuff. His stuff is so freaking weird that it's just, this is a good chance to agitate Black Tusk. His stuff is all so freaking bizarre that it's like, I don't see there's any point in not reading it. Like, Death Stranding's plot to me is so ridiculous and nonsensical that, like, I don't know, it's just that they're there, but they're not, and it, like, I don't know, the beach, and just, you know, it's just a little too fantastical for me to take seriously as far as the story goes. Because when you have that fantastical of a plot, you can write anything. You can write that the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man, you know, is actually the one in control of anything, and do a complete twist at the end of the game and be like, have the Ghostbusters pop out and be like, hey, you know, it's Venkman, what's up, man? And just completely, you know, flip everything on its ass from what you were expecting. So that's the problem when you have extremely far-fetched storylines that are extremely bizarre and kind of, you know, almost like cultish in the manner that they deliver it. Is, I don't, you know, I can almost suspect, I'm a writer, so I can kind of feel when someone really doesn't know what the hell their story they're trying to tell, and are just kind of winging it and trying to pretend like they do by keeping it very, by making it very Byzantine and very, I don't know how to describe it, almost like, by making it seem very alien, exotic, and approaching it in an unconventional manner. A lot of people mask lack of inspiration as originality, we'll put it that way. So that's something I'm wary of, especially with recent games. I think everybody can feel me on that. I mean, a lot of these games are so freaking disappointing. And then games that I enjoyed, the first time through, and then once that initial play, like that initial play kind of glamour fades away, then you're just
Hostile
kind of
control
like
point nearby.
you see all the more obnoxious aspects of it that you didn't really, see as necessary and kind of want to, like in The Last of Us 2, for example. I don't know. That game pisses me off now in a lot of ways, like story-wise. The gameplay is amazing, but I just kind of want to see a bloater rip Ellie's head off every half hour throughout that game. And I personally am like, if Abby wasn't like built like a freaking bear, I mean, I support. I'm more on the Abby camp of that story, just because she's got a really kind of legitimate gripe. And yeah, well, technically, I guess someone could argue that so does Ellie, but Ellie is just, I don't know. She's such a vengeful little bitch that, I don't know. She's not a good person at all. She's a horrible, horrible person. She's tortured people. She's brutally murdered people who are just defending their friends, who are seeking justice for a severe injustice that was done to them. You could say, yeah, they were going for revenge too, because Joel didn't pose any long-term threat to anybody else after that point. But the principle, yeah, is that you could argue that the reason they wanted to kill him is because they knew as long as he was alive, they were never going to. He was never going to allow them to get Ellie and create a vaccine or whatever. So, for the people who are familiar with The Last of Us, you know what I'm talking about, which is most people if they play on PlayStation. But yeah, you know, I'm a little bit, more cautious now when it comes to, you know, committing into reading all the details of a game. So I understand. I understand why people don't want to read every gear detail and every mission detail and every brief and listen really in depth to each audio file that they pick up. But in this game, you kind of have to. By doing that, you give yourself a serious edge. And understanding these stories and whatnot, they give you warnings. They tell you about enemies and what you're going to expect, the kind of resistance you'll face. They can clue you in on a lot of different things. Like, if I had paid more attention in the first years, I mean, I got this game when it came out, Division 2. So I've had this game for many, many years. And I didn't start taking all the little details of it seriously until only a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And that's why my level isn't like 20,000 or something. Let me see, I'm at 4,555. But if I had been taking this game seriously from the jump and doing more of the global events and stuff, and taking advantage of more of the holiday events, like I'd never done a holiday event on Division 2 up until like whatever the winter event. Yeah, I think that was it. Like maybe I did one, like a little something here and there in another, but never with the determination to actually get the best type of gear. And now, I mean, I'm pretty well hooked up. I'm only 2.5 expertise points away from reaching the max. And my gameplay, it's not as inconsistent. Like today, I'm honestly having kind of an off day. This is off play for me, and this is heroic. So this should tell you what you need to know about paying attention to the little details and getting your build set up in a way that's really beneficial. I have noticed there are some relatively new players that seem to, well, somewhat understand it better, which is good. I don't see people doing the 5 of the same gear brand type stuff, and as much as I was seeing that before, but I'm sure there are still, people who do that from time to time, and if you're playing with someone and you see that when you look at their gear, their info, when someone walks up to you, I'll go to a safe zone and show you after we do this. Check their gear, and if their gear is jacked up, tell them, tip them off, send them a message if their profile isn't blocked or whatever, retake territory across the city and prepare to hold it. Okay, so I'm guessing territory control or control points. Since retaking would constitute control point, it's got 3 down though, so that would be a lot of control points. So I'm guessing it's territory controls. So we got a territory control right here. I want to do like Black Tusk ones so that I get them agitated. I've got basically everybody else agitated, but not Black Tusk, and they are the ones that drop the best loot, or not. We drop the best loot during after in prizes and whatnot. So, and actually technically during the intercepts and kill squads and whatever. One second, I'm packing a lip. This is my honest man speed. If you're a gamer and you don't want to rot your gut with Red Bull to stay awake, I shit you not, dip. It may seem uncomfortable at first because it burns, but after you start doing it for a few days, you'll crave that burn. And it gives you a smooth and strong energy flow that will last for hours and hours with just one lip. One lip that's like 2 hours to 3 hours of energy. And it doesn't wear off right away either. It's not like the moment you take your lip out, you're out of juice. It lasts about 30 minutes to an hour. After, sometimes you, if you're dipping too much before you try to go to sleep, it'll keep you geeked up to where you can't get to bed, that you can't really fall asleep for like a hour. Kind of like if you're doing like speed or something, or whatever. But it is definitely a very useful, obviously if you are of age, and I will warn you now, it is incredibly addictive, but nicotine is not actually bad for you. The carcinogens in the tobacco leaf, they're actually what's bad for you, not nicotine. Nicotine, actually, there's science, well-substantiated scientific evidence that shows nicotine is actually good for you. But yes, it is a very addictive chemical. But technically, it actually enhances mitochondrial function, and it's kind of like a wonder chemical for the human body. The only downside, again, is the most abundant source of nicotine in the world is tobacco, and tobacco has carcinogenic properties, and unless you're using tobacco-free snus or whatever they call that stuff, the stuff where you stick the little cotton pill-shaped thing in your lip, like a cotton nugget almost of nicotine. They use them a lot in Scandinavia, for like women use them a lot because they don't want dip. They don't want to be like spitting, which is pretty unattractive for everyone, frankly, man or woman. So if you're self-conscious and all that, but you still want a nicotine buzz, you want the energy, you use the non-nicotine ones, and what's it called, like Siberian, I think, is one that's really strong. But if you're new to it, I would start with something lower nicotine, because it is going to give you a buzz. It's literally going to give you a head high. And if you use too much of it, you'll get a headache. That's how you know you've got too much nicotine. So if you start to get a headache when you're dipping or using snooze or using the, tobacco-free snooze or whatever that stuff is, that's your warning that you use too much. And it's not like you're going to die or anything. You'll just have a headache. So that's a sign not to keep dipping. You keep dipping after that, you'll just get a worse headache. But it's not going to cause you to OD or anything. It's, it's tobacco, not heroin. But yeah, that's my fuel source. And once I pack a lip, it sharpens me up nicely. You're trying to do an event or something, and it's like crunch time, last 6 hours. That's the way to go. If you are of legal age, like I said. Don't be a dunce. Speaking of which, one moment. Un momento, per favore. Un momento, signori e signora. Okay, so see what we got. See if that worked. I didn't check the screens, so no, it didn't work. Okay, so we take territory across the city and prepare to hold it. That could mean retaliation. I mean, yeah, that could mean retaliation, even though that's more of a defensive action, kind of. And I don't think they would expect 3 retaliations for 1 scout. That would be heavy. That would be a lot of retaliation. So I'm guessing maybe control point. It's definitely not going to be propaganda broadcasts. We'll do taxi graveyard, I guess. Let me see if there's any faction specific here. Yeah, no, it's just kind of general. BTSU firmware is a reward, though, so they could be implying that, but obviously that would not be limited to a Black Tusk controlled control point, since that only happens when you failed a retaliation or whatever, and they end up retaining the territory. So there's actually a crate up here, I think. Come on, get up, get up. What are you doing, bro? Oh, there it is. Yeah, up here. That's right. There's a rifle crate. And it looks like a lockbox. Okay. I just got a prototype, one of those SOCOM rifles. It's like a SCAR of some sort. Kind of like the Lud. Don't have a lot of space in my inventory right now, though. Yeah, you see I got the Surge. I'll switch to that in a second so you can see how that performs. The SOCOM Mark 16. This is not an assault rifle build, though. So you're not going to see, peak performance. The one I'm using now is basically, it's like this. It's like a higher cyclic rate, lower damage version of the classic M1A. See, that gives me almost 600 something, 620,000 almost damage from that. This, I'm only getting really a little more than half of that. So, and that's basically what the SOCOM M1A is. It's the same thing. Oh, that's a, got a God roller of an MDR, but swap speed is not really anything I'm interested in. And don't forget, handling includes all, it is multiple benefits. So stability, accuracy, reload, and stability, accuracy, and swap speed. That's right. So you're getting four in one. So that's why handling is so valuable. So don't forget that when you're looking through or doing like a recalibration or something. I believe you can recalibrate to let me see. So if I were going to recalibrate this guy here, no, so it's not here. So it wouldn't be under this, but it would be as one of the benefits of like a gear set unlock. You're gonna see a big difference if you get like 20% weapon handling. That's giving you a lot of benefit. That's giving you 20% of all of those things. 20% more accuracy, 20% more stability, 20% more swap speed, um, and reload speed. So keep that in mind, because I didn't used to. Again, reading into everything in this game is vital, because if you don't read into all the details of every item and every gear set and every attribute, you miss out on a lot of benefits, and you'll end up overlooking them and just like, oh no, I don't need that, breaking it down, when it could have given you something like, here, this one has 15% weapon handling. So I already have a Petrov equipped, and that's why I'm getting a bonus um, across the board to 4 separate attributes. So as you can see, my stats are off the charts here. Literally off the charts. 120% accuracy. Stability is good. Weapon swap speed 70%. Weapon handling, as you can see, 70%. So that encompasses, those things. That's why if you look up here, you'll see weapon handling from core strength and Petrov are contributing to it. You know, so very important. Okay, good. Got an ammo crate and some specialty ammo over here. And we can hit these guys. I'll show you how fast this thing fires.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Pretty quick, right?
Hostile broadcast picked up. Access key detected.
Okay. Might as well grab this while we're over here. We don't want to miss out on that XP. And there's some more water and a couple of equipment crates. There's also more
Hostile
water
broadcast
over there. We're going to take the high road. Come up right behind them. Whenever I use this route during retaliation, I always get hit by multiple enemy patrols that kind of pin me between the enemies defending the control point and the enemies coming out of the next zone. You see, there's even some spawning over there right now. Nope, I didn't want to do that.
Reinforcements incoming.
I can't move!
Hey! You okay?
That's a bad position.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Fucking cheap armor!
No, it hit the frickin' wall.
Heavily armored hostile.
Uh-oh.
Let's burn them! Fuck you!
Alright, 115 meters out. My homeboys are almost here. Let's get down here and grab some specialty ammo.
Ready to fire. God, that's lower. No one gets away.
Detecting additional
Okay, we're
hostile
gonna have a
contacts.
lot of enemy suiciders coming in. And that's where my rifle comes in. Oh wait, nope. We need to switch.
Think you're coming for me?
I lost the shot! Cover you!
Going around us!
Don't undo my handiwork! Fuck you! Over there! They're coming at... Right! Gotta reload! Drop that sight!
You kind of have to slow this one down considerably to see the accuracy
Heavily armored hostile
at distance, but it is pretty good for intermediate range. let's see if that gave us what we need.
Defend ourselves!
So we got some black tusk over here.
I need to move to a better spot. You have to get out!
Did that register? I didn't see that. Okay, yep. So it's control points. Since this is probably going to be pretty time-occupying, time-consuming undertaking for this scout, I'm probably going to have to break this up into a couple videos. But we will do one more and mobilize. Yeah, see, I don't like these where you have to get 4 kills to apply ensnare. I think these towns would be much cooler if it was like the same way they set it up with the what do you call it? St. Elmo's engine, based on how many hits and not kills. Because I mean, most encounters you're only going to deal with about 12 enemies anyway. So that's only 3 ensnares. It's just yeah. Obviously, if you're just running around hitting patrols, they'll just kind of randomly appear, but or seem like it. But yeah, this used to be my go-to weapon for a while. This urban MDR, because it has a really high rate of fire for a rifle, and of course you can see it's got double the damage of an assault rifle. So it's a nice compromise. Reliable. If you do a rate of fire increase through a gear set unlock and use the urban MDR, you're going to be very happy with the performance. It's basically then like using one of the AK platforms type assault rifle with double the damage. Okay, this long stick. Break those down. I just broke down a bunch of stuff actually recently to try to clear out some space, and I put a bunch of stuff into my stash, but still wasn't enough. Unit alloys. That's actually a good unit. Oh wait, no. Sombra is actually not bad. But yeah, no, we don't really need it. Yeah, this control point is nice because there's so many specialty ammo crates. Of like status effect ammo. There's one here. There's the one up there, right over there, and then there's one up here on this little building here. So even after a really heavy fight, there's still going to be plenty of it laying around. So most of the time, after a really nasty fight, and you're hurling grenades everywhere, most of the crates are destroyed. But this site has a lot. Let's hook this dude up, and then see if we got anything good out of this control point. Maybe we got an exotic component if we're lucky. Yes. Nice. Black Tusk. Now, Black Tusk are like vultures. They swoop in as soon as a control point has been taken by friendlies. Those mini tanks hit really hard. Those things do a massive amount of damage. Wait.
Agent in need of backup.
Federal emergency bunker, Titan killer. Someone needs help. We're gonna have to go help them anyway. We'll call it.